The political calculus of a fiscal cliff deal can be as head-spinning as the math behind the tax increases and spending cuts. Just today, reports that some Republicans want to go ahead and raise taxes, and word the Republican Senate Majority Leader wants a vote on allowing the president to raise the debt ceiling without congressional approval. Of course, it's more complicated than it sounds. Lori Montgomery is on Capitol Hill to sort it out for us. And Lori, you had this story about some Republicans saying, let's just go ahead and raise the top tax rate back up to 39.6%. Why would they want to do that?
Well, it's not clear that they do want to do that. I mean, I think what Republicans are saying to John Boehner and their leaders is, look, we're ready to cry uncle here. The president won re-election. We understand that the situation we're in involves automatic tax hikes up to 39.6% on rich people and big tax hikes on everybody else. We're not willing to see taxes go up on everybody else. So, uncle, we're willing to give the president what he wants, higher rates for rich people. But they're not necessarily willing to go back up to 39.6. And the debate right now is how exactly do they cave?
And even as Republicans agree, quote unquote, to more revenue, I feel like a lot of us, including us here on the Fold, sometimes gloss over what they require, which is significant entitlement and spending cuts from Democrats. And I wonder if, even if the Republicans agree to these type of revenue increases, Democrats are going to do what the Republicans will insist on in order for there to be a deal.
Democrats are perfectly willing to talk about some changes to those programs, but the kind of changes Democrats are willing to consider are very different from what Republicans want. Republicans want things that will change the program in perpetuity, like raising the eligibility age for Medicare or applying a less generous measure of inflation to Social Security benefits so they grow more slowly forevermore. That saves a lot of money.
Part of Obama's last proposal suggested that in the future the debt ceiling could be raised without Congress having to pass something. Basically, the president, it's more complicated than this, but essentially would be able to do it on his lonesome. I'm glossing over. They do have to override a veto, whatever.
It is a Rube Goldberg-esque procedure that we have in place.
And we're going to have to raise it again roughly in February if we keep the mechanism we have now. Something interesting happened where the Republican Senate leader, Mitch McConnell, said, okay, you want this? We'll take a vote on it. And so why did he say that? And then Harry Reid had a back and forth. What was this all about?
Yeah, so Mitch McConnell does this a lot. What he does is he takes something that the president has thrown out there that he knows that Senate Democrats aren't wild about. And he says, you know what? The president wants this. Why don't we take a vote on it right now? And that sounds like Mitch McConnell is, doing what the president wants, right? But in fact, he's trying to demonstrate that Democrats really don't want to vote for this. So there was like silence for a while the Democrats tried to figure out how to respond to this provocation. And then Harry Reid, who's getting better at these situations because they crop up so often, said, okay, you know what? Why don't we do this vote? But my good friend Mitch McConnell, why don't we do it at a 50-vote threshold? So you agree not to filibuster it, and if it gets 51 votes, it will actually pass because Democrats are pretty sure they got 51 votes for it. They just don't have 60. So Reid basically called McConnell's bluff because if they'd gone ahead with the vote, it very likely could have passed. So McConnell's strategy sort of backfired.
Yeah, Reid was able to say that McConnell was trying to filibuster his own bill.
His own, yes, exactly.
Well, it's more of the same hijinks up there. But thanks for filling us in on it, Lori. Good to have you on the show.
Sure thing.